Today I got to the house and I decided to sand everything. And I don't know if you can see it very clearly. The house has got a lovely mist about it. It needs to be cleared up. But I believe at this moment I've got everything that I need to plaster sanded, even including the toilet and the bathroom that I just finished as well. So now it's all about plastering and getting a layer of plaster on everything in the house so that I can then go back and, well, sand it all again. So that's fun. And I'm sure I have plaster all over myself. I can see it even though I can't quite see it. And I need a new mask. So, good start to the morning.
Past couple days have been a little difficult for me. As many of you know, my father died last year, and my mother is in a care facility in the US and dealing with memory loss, dementia, probably. She hasn't been technically diagnosed, but pretty much dementia. And 5 years ago, she had an accident and broke her femur, had some pins put in it, broke her shoulder, pins put in it, all this. And she hasn't really been physically or mentally herself in many years. And she fell and broke her femur again, same femur, the other day. And well, first of all, she had kidney stones. Was in the hospital, checked out checked out from the kidney stone hospital stay, and then slipped and fell and broke her femur. And so it was right back in the hospital. So she only got like 2 days out of the hospital before having to go back to the hospital. And then while she's in the hospital, they've been giving her lots of pain medication. And she calls me and she says that she believes that she's being held prisoner at the hospital and that there's actually nothing wrong with her. Obviously, this is a pain medication paranoia that got built up and created. And it seems she called the police on the hospital for kidnapping her and keeping her against her will. So this was a long saga that went on. In the end, she's gotten her surgery and supposedly should be going back to her care facility. But there's the potential that if she doesn't feel the need to be motivated to work hard at walking again, that she may be moving into another higher care facility, which means costs more money, and it also means that I have to go to the US to downsize her. You know, so I've already downsized from the house. Now I'm going to have to downsize my mother from the apartment if she doesn't get motivated. Now, she is not a very motivated person, and in the end, this is all a very just like long, drawn out slog of the the experience of being a child, watching your parents slowly creep into old age and death. And I don't envy anybody that has to go through this. It sucks. It sucks so bad. My dad passed away rather sort of abruptly and without any warning, which in many ways was very nice. This long drawn out. I mean, I have a friend of mine that his mother has been literally like unrecognizable with dementia and everything else for like 5 years, and he's having to just interact with it frequently. I have I mean, maybe we call it luck, maybe we call it bad idea, but I'm far enough away that I don't interact with my mother on a daily basis, which maybe is good and maybe it's bad. I don't know, but it's the way we are now. It's the situation that I'm in. So that being said, at the same time, in the same 24 hours, my therapist, so the person I turn to for help, so my mother's going through all this, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't wait to talk to my therapist. My therapist has been admitted to a mental institution. I don't know why, but it's just a comical set of circumstances that my mother's going crazy, calling the police and thinking everybody's keeping her hostage. So I need an outlet to discuss this with somebody. And the person that I turn to has been checked into a mental institution. It's just a very funny set of situations. I believe all of these situations will be resolved reasonably soon, but it's possible I will having me travel to the U.S. And probably I'll take you all along with that. I don't know yet. And then the rest is just getting through. I heard a quote recently that I really liked, which was like, if you're going through hell, keep going. So it's just got to keep working. Don't have a choice. I mean, I do, but not if I want to try to get to someplace better. So today, yard work. Yesterday I tried to do the yard with my weed whacker, and it's very inconsistent, and I don't like the results. Plus it takes way longer than necessary. So today I went and bought an extremely expensive lawnmower, but let's hope that basically I don't have to buy a lawnmower again for a decade. Wow, it actually has a key. Just what I needed, another key. Let's see if the batteries are charged up. Let's hope they are. It'd be kind of rude of them not to, but I've had ruder experiences. For all the batteries I have from this company, this is the first sort of big batteries. They're not charged. Well, doesn't that just suck? Well, gotta go charge the batteries. The plan for today. So all around this top edge, I have put in mortar to fill in basically all the mortar that fell out when I chiseled out the corners. But now I need to sand back the mortar, so when I put plaster over it, that the plaster is the final layer, not the mortar. So I have to go through and sand it and then put it on plaster. And again, this is like everything is one step at a time. But So I'm going to sand it all back and then put on one direction and let that dry of the plaster so that I can get a nice right angle by then doing the opposite one. If I find that when I try to do both at the same time, they just get all sloppy and messy. So I'm just going to do one side, let it dry, which will take like a day or two, and then come back and do the other direction. And that will make a nicer, cleaner 90-degree angle, hopefully, theoretically.
Now I need to let it air out a little bit before I continue work. Batteries are finally charged, so first go with brand new Let's see if it works well. Well, that worked well. Okay, that's too easy. Let's back that up a little bit. It seems it takes off. Whoa. Okay, let's slow that down. So how do I... Okay, so it's a two-step process. So you pull this up and then start up this. Pull that up. Start up. Only took one bar to do the whole yard. That's marvelous.
Part 2 of this process will be putting plaster up. I haven't shown this tool, I think, yet. This is a Hawk. Love it. I was shocked that it took me a while to find this. I sort of thought it was an extremely sort of European craftsmanship-y kind of thing. But I had to order it from Poland. I couldn't even find any in the Czech Republic, so it's kind of crazy. But anyways, moving on. I forgot to mention I got a contact dermatitis on my hand, and I narrowed it all down. And it seems it's the wet plaster that's causing the contact dermatitis. So now I have to wear gloves while dealing with wet plaster. Fun. prior to doing this house, one of the things that I forgot is how step by step and patience plastering is. I did it years ago, and it's, you do one thing, you let it dry, you come back to it, then you re-sand it, and then you redo it, and it's just, at least try and get like a really good finish. You could do it easier, but to get a really nice finish, you have to do like put it on, let it dry, sand it, redo it, let it dry, sand it, and it's a very long process. But luckily I have. So while this one's drying, I can go on to the next room and sort of continue on like this. And then by the time I'm done with every room, come back here, this is dry, and I can keep this cycle going. Fun. In this room, the amount of mortar that sort of came out, because the curve at the top here in this room was, this is the front living room area, was not as extensive. There was no need to put any sort of mortar back in because it didn't actually take out very much. So I'm just going to go straight to plaster in this room.